So today we're talking with Jongseo, who is a participant of the Orange Vibe Jam. So let's just get right into it. Jongseo, if you could introduce yourself.
Okay, so I'm a solo startup entrepreneur in Korea, which means like for this year, I'm like launching every website or IT service a month. And so starting this February, I've been using AI to build softwares I have because I cannot do it alone because I don't know much about programming. And so for this month, I was already thinking about and planning to do, and I think I started like building something of an idea. And then I saw Orange 5 Gem, so I thought this was like a good opportunity.
So are you working on projects that align with your personal interests, or are you working on more services that could generate cash?
That's it's English. That's a good question. It's really a good question because so this is my fourth project that coded with AI.
Mm,
And the three former projects were just for money. I would just see what other people are dealing with life,
mm.
and if they have any inconvenience, I might just use this LLM to solve it and give me $10 a month. I was like trying to get idea from money, but it didn't work out. So for 3 months, I made $7
Okay.
with the business. For this month, I was a bit tired of just think about money.
Right.
So I wanted to tie and link with something I have interest in,
Right.
or maybe some kind of problem that I want to solve in this world. Yeah,
So this project you're talking about, is this the one that you'll be submitting to the Vibe Jam?
yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. Now, I know you have yet to submit, so I don't know much about your project. Can you explain a little bit about what you're working on?
Yeah. So it's basically a 3D metaverse of music sharing platform.
Oh, interesting.
So the whole scene is like a universe, and you're floating around, and you just move around, and there's a shelf with records with the display of LP. And if it's empty, you can upload your music, and you need to log in with Orange ID. And if it's not empty, if someone already uploaded with their music and the cover image, the LP will display the image. And if you click on it, then you can see the lyrics and you can play the music. So it's
Interesting.
yeah,
It's like a, I guess, like a virtual Spotify.
yeah.
Very cool. And what motivated you to come up with that idea?
So my real passion is in music as I'm a singer-songwriter, and I've been
Oh,
like
awesome.
I've been writing and playing. I've been writing and like just doing music every day for 5 years while I was working and studying. And I do like small gigs in a cafe or like a bar in Seoul. I did last
Okay.
month. I'm doing this week, Sunday.
Very
Um,
cool. You do open mics?
yeah, I did last week open mic, and this week I'm doing like I'm first like selling tickets and having audiences.
Oh, awesome. Very cool.
But my problem was like I don't know how I first I thought I was special because I have a passion and I write my own songs. But like recently I realized like there are 100,000 songs published in Spotify in one day. It's like more than anyone can imagine.
Right.
So I feel like it's nearly impossible for an indie musician to get there exposed even if they even so unless they go viral on SNS or unless they won some kind of like a TV show or they are backed by a big label company.
Mm,
I feel like it's like really hard to break through that ceiling.
yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, so I thought this might not be absolute like solution, but I thought this could be some fun place or like an experiment for indie musicians to share their songs.
Oh, that's very cool. That's awesome.
I am collaborating with indie professional musicians. What I'm saying about indie professional is they have released albums and they do get paid shows, but they might not getting paid a lot, or they might not have 100 like thousand followers. They might have few thousands, but they're still professional musicians. So I'm contacting them and have their music on my metaverse,
Mm.
but with a special display and design. So I'm thinking about having them as like a planet and decorate around them. If you click on it, you can listen to his or her music. So then they could, because they have a small fan base, they could like self promote or my
Right.
website. Out here, you can listen to my music here.
So this could potentially be a platform for fan groups to meet up and promote for their favorite artists.
Yeah, yeah, it could be. It's yeah. I was thinking about that direction too.
So what tools are you using for your coding?
So I'm using Cursor.
Cursor.
Yeah. Before the three previous projects with Cursor, I only did with Cursor. So my biggest pain point was first, I have not much programming skill and
Mm.
experience, but I worked on it and I'm learning every day. And but what I realized was like AI is like they suck at creating UIs.
Right.
So I struggled a lot. I think for the last month's project, I think I spent like a week just to get the
Just use the
layout.
UI. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I tested out some other and like possibilities, and I found out like there are tools like Lovable,
Right.
so they can create like a initial template. For this one, I prompted with Lovable, and I did some like several changes, and I found out like the what Lovable gave me. I thought like it's visually quite okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I felt like I could just start from here. So I got that file and yeah, I'm coding, build, building upon that
Yeah.
starting point.
It's interesting to hear your experience of using several different editors to come up with your code base. What was so going through the process, was there anything that surprised you? Did the agent suggest a feature that you didn't think of, or like what surprised you about this process?
There's a lot to talk about because for
Okay.
3 months I've been vibe coding like at least 6 hours a day on
Whoa.
average.
Whoa.
There were many days I would just so like my brain feels like it explodes because I have to understand how it works to fix the error. So the first thing I was amazed, the first wow moment was that like even as someone who just made like a toy project in college could actually build a software alone with AI. So I remember like first using Cursor to build my first startup project, and it was a function. It was an app that if I upload a PDF, it extracts a text and translate and explain and make a quiz. So I needed like a server, and I used Google Cloud Run. I didn't know any of these. I knew like OpenAI API could work, but I just asked AI to do it. I couldn't believe that I could actually make a functioning
Mm,
software.
mm.
But that good part doesn't last that long. I think
Right.
I think what's more important and more interesting is so if you just vibe code just to have fun or like just to try out like in your free time, I think there's no need to be no hassle. If it works, it's fine. If it not work, then you'll just go back to your normal life.
Right.
But I think this would be useful to talk about if you are trying to vibe code to make something more serious,
Right.
professional. like a production level. So as a person who's trying to make out in this world with vibe coding, I have doubt with myself every day. If I face an error that takes 5 hours, I have to I can't help but ask myself, is this thing really like working? Would this work? Is this really alright to not know how to code line by line and just let AI to do it? And the answer for now is yes, because if you like if you know the basics of programming, if you know a little bit of Python, if you know the conditional statement and import and like types, like a basic things, and I think it's enough to understand.
That's one of the things that that I've taken away from vibe coding is that I'm not really just telling the agent what to do. Since it's explaining to me what it's doing, I'm learning myself so that my prompts and understanding of the coding is better for the next time. At that moment where your project seems to be starting to fall apart, like how do you push through? What keeps you pushing?
But for this one, the prize is keep me pushing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's as valid an answer as any. That's why we started the contest, right? For people to get over that, stop sitting on the fence about vibe coding and give them a reason or 100,000 reasons, right? To just get in and do it. So that's a completely valid reason. There's a lot of people really sitting on the fence about vibe coding. They might think that it's too complicated for them. They're just not IT savvy enough. They have no experience whatsoever. What would you say to those guys to motivate them to try it out?
If a month ago, I would say actually you should have some kind of a little bit of experience. That I think they're really a future like it's could be really easy to make a software, even if you don't have the logic,
Right.
even if you only have Vive, then you can make it. I think it's similar to a tip of an iceberg problem. So before, for you to build like a 10% of the software, you have to have 100% of knowledge to build it
Mhm.
on your own.
Right.
But now, if you have, even if you have zero, you can start building something. It's possible. Before it was impossible. But if you have 10, if Python, then you might be able to build something with JavaScript. So I think it's the portion has flipped over the
Right.
10, and you can complete the 100 with AI.
Like at some point, this iceberg could be even like lower in the water, where you only need to know you only need to be knowledgeable about your interest or what you expect the output to be. And then at some point, maybe AI will be building 99%, and you just need
Mhm.
that 1% of ambition, right, to start. Can you screen share what you're working on?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, interesting.
There's a planet, and I will have yeah, okay. So this is a record shelf with LP, and the green ones are the available ones. So if you're logged in, you can click it and you can upload your music with the image, the files, and it goes to the backend. And these are like I uploaded some of the music here to test out. Like if you click on it,
So this is
just
one of your own songs.
yeah, yeah,
So let me ask you real quick about the ID integration. You successfully did that already?
yeah. But actually, it worked with just one prompt.
It's really just cut and paste. Just like copy the README, paste it into the agent, and say integrate that. So, but I'm glad that you were able to one shot. That's awesome. And then when will you be actually submitting it?
I was thinking like, should I do after polishing a little bit of UI, or should I do after I just ask some musicians to fill their music in the website and then publish? What do you think would be
Mm.
better?
If I were you, I'd definitely get it up before that first 50 fills up, so you can
Yeah.
claim the 50 $50 in orange token. But that's the thing about vibe coding, right? There's not a high expectation
Mhm.
of vibe coded projects. So I think if you put it up and then still continue to work on it, that it's fine. I think what you've produced is already much farther along than most. And the other great thing about what you've built is it's not a game. Everyone has produced
Yeah.
games because it's probably easier to build. So we'd love to see some non-game apps submitted. If you can just tell us like what does vibe coding mean to you?
But for me, vibe coding is not vibe coding. For me, vibe coding, like in the process of vibe coding, because I'm coding to do a business, vibe coding requires me to understand more about programming.
Mm,
Yeah, but I don't have to learn the tedious details. It makes me to be able to do
right.
what can experienced people could do, but only me, unexperienced, can do.
So it seems like vibe coding, it's not just helping you produce the work, but it's also educating you on how to improve your own skills.
Yeah, so like without vibe coding, without I wouldn't be able to any of the IT projects. Well, I would more prefer to play guitar, but
Right.
with AI does the thing to work and possible, and it inspires me and make me to understand and learn.
Thank you very much for speaking with us today. And I hope it motivates other builders to building and submitting their projects.
Yeah, man, thank you.